Dustin off history. My name is Dustin, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the different types of detectors. And we're going to do a video on the top 6 metal detectors for under $1,000. Also, I'm going to put in the price range as well as what each one has to offer, because what one person might need, another person, it might not be what they need. Before we get into the video, though, I just wanted to say I did hours of research on each machine, and this list is what I personally think would be the top 6 detectors for under $1,000. As most of you know, there are hundreds of different detectors that are in the $1,000 price range, but no one wants to spend their hard earned money on a machine that doesn't give you all the bang for your buck. The first one we're going to talk about is the Minelab Equinox. Now, we're going to be talking about the 600 and the 800 in this spot. This machine is probably one of the most versatile detectors on the market for under $1,000. The Equinox has excellent depth as well as recovery speed, which is how fast the machine picks up each target under the coil, which is great in iron infested areas. The Equinox 600 runs around $650, while the 800 is around $950. Both machines are great, but the 800 comes with more search programs, multiple backlight modes, gold prospecting mode, and also comes with a couple more frequencies that the Equinox 600 doesn't have. I personally like the 800 better because it has these features. But if you're looking for a good detector and you're not worried about all the bells and whistles, then I would say the 600 would be best for you. Both come with an 11-inch double D coil, which does well with separation between targets and still gets good depth. Also, the 800 comes with wireless headset, and the 600 comes with a wired set. Next one on the list is the Minelab Xterra 705. The Xterra comes with a 10.5-inch double D coil. It is also multi-frequency, which in my opinion, multi-frequency detectors are taken over in the detector market these days. It also has gold prospecting mode, and you can use this detector in all types of environments. It has ground balancing features to help with highly mineralized soils like hunting on the beach. The 3-part shaft is easy to assemble and set, which makes the machine very portable. The detector weighs in at about 2.8 pounds, which makes it easy to detect for long periods of time without hurting your back. Also, the Xterra is created more for a seasoned detectorist because of all the complicated features. The Xterra also has an all-metal mode like the Equinox series. All-metal mode makes it where the machine will pick up all types of metal including iron. The only problem with this machine is the batteries in the headphones are not a part of the set. You have to buy those separately. And it's not totally waterproof like the Equinox. And lastly, the Xterra will run you about $700 to buy a brand new one. Now I want to talk about the XP Orcs, or ORX, to some people. This machine will run you right at $1,000. It was when I looked it up, it was like $1,050, but it's worth it. It's close enough to $1,000 that I think it needed to make the list. But the Orcs comes with a 9-inch coil or a 9.5 elliptical coil, depending on which one you want to get. It has a telescopic shaft, and the display screen can be taken off, which I have always liked that concept about the XP machines. This machine has incredibly fast recovery speed and also gets great depth as well. The battery life on the XP Orcs is around 20 to 23 hours, which is good for long hunts or if you go on a hunt and camp with no charger around. This machine hasn't been out for too long, so I haven't really had an opportunity to use it firsthand, but I would love to. You can also buy high frequency coils for the Orcs. One of the best things about the Orcs is the weight. It weighs in at about 2.5 pounds with the coil and control box attached. Now, if you took the control box off and stuck it in your pocket, You're talking probably 2 pounds, maybe even a little less, because that's where most of the weight is on this machine. The coil's waterproof, but to use the coil submerged, you have to buy an antenna so the coil can send a signal to the control box, which to me, that's always been kind of an issue with the XP Deus and the Orcs that I haven't liked so much about it, is that you have to buy a lot of extras to get what another machine that you could pay less for, you get more out of it. But this is just my opinion. Uh, it's a great machine, though. It's definitely a machine that's worth money that you pay for it, and there's no doubt about that. Next, we're going to talk about the Garrett AT Pro. This machine will set you back about $550 last time I looked. But for anyone who watches videos on YouTube, I think the AT Pro is probably one of the most widely used that I see on YouTube. The AT Pro is waterproof to 10 feet, which is great if you like to hunt in the water like myself. It also has manual and auto ground balancing features as well as iron audio. The AT Pro is priced like a mid-level detector, but has a lot of the high-end features found in some of the more advanced machines. Also, the machine is fairly simple to learn without having too much of a learning curve. There are a few different size coils you can buy for this machine as well to get added depth, and smaller coils for better separation. One thing I've always liked about Garrett detectors is that they make their detectors to where anyone can use one without having to read a 200-page instruction book. The AT Pro is a machine that I wouldn't mind telling someone that's never used a detector to make this machine their first and know that they will pick it up fairly quickly. Another Garrett detector on my list is the AT Max. This machine works well in all types of different soil conditions and is well built to withstand rough conditions. It has built-in Z-Link wireless technology that pairs with your headphones and can also pair with their pinpointer to the headphones, which is a neat addition on a detector. That way other people don't have to hear your pinpointer going off if you're in a place that you don't want people to really know what you're doing, as far as like other detectorists around and you're trying to hunt in a kind of a secret, your secret honey hole. The AT Max will cost about $700 to buy, depending if you buy it in a kit or just the machine only. This machine has good depth capabilities, but in heavy iron infested sites it seems to have issues picking out good targets in my soil. This machine can find targets in iron as long as it's not mixed in with several pieces of iron next to your target. Uh, and when I say that, I'm not dogging on the machine at all. I think it's a great machine, um, but compared to like the Equinox, for an example, it seems to pick out the targets whenever there's tons of iron around and not really have an issue. And the AT Max seems to have a lot of falsing that happens, and it could be, uh, just the settings. You might be able to change it. Uh, but like I said, this is just my opinion, and to help you guys that are fixing to buy a new machine, and to help you pick out which one you want. Um, this The AT Max is also waterproof and comes with a 9.5-inch coil, or you can get a smaller coil as well. I believe it's like 5x9. It's really up to the buyer. The 5x9 is a little bit cheaper, I believe, if you buy it, than if you got the 9.5-inch coil. But, that's up to the buyer. But it has a VDI number system that goes from 0 to 99, which it has all metal mode as well as ground balancing. This machine is definitely in my list for a reason. But with the experiences I've had with Garrett or Minelabs, I would choose the Equinox 600 for the same price as the AT Max, if not a little bit less. But like I said, that's just for my experiences in my soil and ground. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about a beginner machine. Uh, And when I say beginner machine, it's actually good for people that have been detecting for a while as well. But the machine I'm talking about is the Garrett ACE 400. Now, uh, to me, it's a great machine for beginners or people that are more advanced as well, that don't get out a whole bunch and doesn't want to spend a lot of money on it, which is totally understandable. Uh, the the Ace 400 is going to run you about $400, which isn't bad for all the features you get with this detector. It has digital target ID, iron audio, discrimination, ground balancing. Uh, the only con to this detector is that the control box isn't waterproof, so you can only go up to it in the water. If this machine had waterproof capabilities, I would say that it's would be like a 7 out of 10 machine to me. The ACE 400 is a single frequency detector that runs at 10 kilohertz, which makes it more sensitive to smaller targets and those with medium conductivity. This machine weighs about 2.9 pounds with the stock coil and uses cam locks to adjust the shaft length. He uses 4 AA batteries that will get you around 25 hours of search time before you have to change them, and that depends on if you're using iron audio and how much discrimination. There's a few variables in there, but you're going to get somewhere around 25 to 30 hours out of it either way from what I've seen. But I would highly recommend this detector to anyone wanting to get into detecting, because you can learn some of the more advanced features before you buy a more advanced machine if you decided to. And if you didn't want to, you could stick with the AT or the Ace 400 and still be happy. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, because I love making these videos for everyone to watch. And I hope I was able to help someone out with their decision on their next or first detector. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below or email me at dustongolf26@gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you guys have. Uh, but I will see you on the next video. God bless and happy hunting.